What's up, Brick Builders? Mayor Brick here. Welcome to day 2 of Brickworld Indianapolis 2024. I'm super excited for today because this is my first time ever displaying at a Brickworld event. And I have a number of items on display. We'll go through all of those today, and I'll give you a little overview of the build, how it came about, yada, yada, yada. Let's get to it. Okay, so to kick things off, we have the first display here, which is my winter village. This is on 6 base plates wide by 4 base plates deep, and I have millsed the entire thing to be very, very mobile. Starting in the bottom right, we have the fire station with the Lunar New Year skating rink. Behind that, we have a custom mountain, which we are using as the North Pole, where you'll see the Elf Clubhouse, the Santa's Workshop, and the winter version of the Four Seasons Creator 3-in-1 house. You'll notice off to the left, Santa is flying off of the mountain on the North Pole, the elves waving goodbye, and it looks like a snow trooper may have straggled along. Below Santa, we have the core part of the downtown, with the carousel. We have the city street or city market street. I can't remember exactly what the set was called. We have some of the OGs here, like the post office, gingerbread house, toy shop, Santa's visit, the cottage, the bakery, and the train station up front with literally the world's shortest tram line. I love the vehicles out of this series, especially that bus. I know the tow truck is actually, the snowplow is one of the most sought after vehicles from this line. And you can see we have a tree farm and just some little additional details that were added to the city to bring this little market village to life. Off to the left, we actually have this tree farm, which I used a couple different techniques here. Obviously, the first one in the front is just trees off the pad wall. And have these like fence framing pieces around it. Also got those from the pad wall, and these lights, which are just 1x1 clips with various transparent 1x1 studs behind them. And then these pine trees here are actually an interesting technique I found on the YouTubes. You just take a brown antenna along with those 3-pronged flower stems, flip it upside down, and add various numbers of them to the end of the antenna, and you get different sized pine trees. So this is the winter village, and yeah, I think it came out okay. I think we're going to redo this for next year, and we're going to add a train around the outside, expand the mountain, and include the tree farm to be more prevalent inside. Now, this red brick road is actually an interesting technique. I really wanted to do a red brick road, and the only way we could think about doing it is snotting it. So SNOT stands for studs not on top, which basically allows you to build sideways. So I took these 1x2 masonry profile bricks, got them on Bricklink in dark red, made a couple rows of them, and basically at the end of the road, there's a SNOT 1x4 brick under these plates, and that's where they connect. And so, you built the plates on top of it to try to hide it. And when we rebuild this, I want to build a little bit more plate work so it looks more like natural snow on the road and not just, a rectangular road. But then you, like I said, you hide it. You do some different work to plate work to hide it and mask it. And so, like for this one, we just did the snow plow and made it like he was plowing. And then, of course, under the mountain, we have to have a little Star Wars scene. Going on next, we have Rebrickable Town. Now, Rebrickable is something I've been getting into recently. If you're unfamiliar, Rebrickable.com is a place you can go to buy alternate building instructions for modular buildings or any set you have, really. So now, honestly, it's my excuse to buy 2 copies of every set so I can do the original build, but also the alternate build. And these are all fan creations. And so I have a number on display here. We'll go through each one. I just wanted to share the wealth with our Brickworld community and guests that, hey, you can buy fan instructions and rebuild your sets in different ways. First up, we have the Wedding Hall, which is an alternate build of the Grand Emporium modular set. set number 10211. This alternate build was created by Ingyong Bricks and is $16 on Rebrickable.com. Next up, we have the Sweet Arcade by KT Brickworks. This is a fusion of two Creator 3-in-1 sets, the Modular Skate House, set number 31081, and the Modular Sweet Surprises, set number 31077. Now this one does take some extra parts, about 600, but the instructions are only $3. And many of these extra parts you can find very, very cheap on Bricklink, or you may even have in your spare parts inventory. But I love how this looks and how it came out. Next, we have the Chinese Cinema Palace by Dagupa, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. Now, this takes two copies of the Palace Cinema Modular Building, set number 10232. There are no extra pieces required. And this one was about $12. And honestly, I love how this modular alternate build looks. I don't even keep the original Palace Cinema in my city. I keep it with this version. I just think it looks so good. And then these movie posters here, you'll notice, are a little different than what came in the set. These are by Eclipse Graphics. I love their custom printed tiles. Next up, we have Olive Street, designed by Brick Artisan. This takes one copy of the new modular building, the Natural History Museum, set number 10326. This is $20, and I love Brick Artisan's MOCs. I have a ton of them. Along with this one, this is the Pub, an alternate build of Assembly Square, set number 10255. This is $20. And lastly, we have another Pub. This is by Verstnert. Sorry if I mispronounced that again. $16. Alternate build of Corner Garage, 10264. And then here we have the Daily Press. This is an alternate build of the Police Station, 10278, also by Verstnert, $16. And I love this one because there's an actual build of a printing press inside, which is great. And then finally, we have the Costume Shop by Bolt Builds, about $21. This takes one copy of the Disney Castle plus 25 extra parts, including a base plate and a 12 1x4 white door frames with windows. And that's Rebrickable Town. Next up, we have the First Presbyterian Church. This is in Remington, Indiana. And this church is a bit special to us because my in-laws actually purchased this church and they converted it to be their home. So they did the full conversion inside. It's no longer a functioning church. It is their home. And it's a beautiful building built, 100 years ago, and just great architecture. Love the stained glass windows. They kept those intact. And there's many hidden details inside. But we'll start on the porch, where I have some custom minifigures made for my mother and father-in-law. Now, of course, my mother-in-law, she loves gardening, so she has some flowers there. And then my father-in-law is so funny. He always wears shirts that, has his name on it, like I'm Bill, doing Bill things. And so we had a custom shirt made that says, "Of course I'm right. My name is Bill." And he's always helping us fix things, so he's got tools in hand. Now, the stained glass windows were actually the most difficult part of this building, and more so because of the white frame. So I had to use a couple interesting snot techniques and tiles and plates to figure out how to accomplish that. If you look inside, you can see the church pews. They no longer have the pews in there, but I wanted to set it up in our wedding manner because my wife and I actually got married there. You can see that white arch. My father-in-law made that for us. And he's also got a karaoke machine on the stage, which is usually always there as well. So just little hidden jokes and nods here for them. And I matched the coloring of the walls and the floors. There's a brown garage door off to the left, so I tried to mimic that with the brown wall panels, in case you're wondering why there's two different wall colors. And then the back rooms they just use for storage and just like personal belongings. My mother-in-law loves Christmas. You see a Christmas room. My father-in-law, he's got a Star Wars shelf with some collectibles, so I tried to mimic that here in his office. Yeah, it was just a fun build. It was fun to take a look at the building, figure out how to build it, and get the pieces for it, and they loved it. Now this one here is called Battle Strategy, And this was kind of hit or miss at the show. I got a lot of interesting comments. I think for the most part, most people got it. It was literally just a joke made out of Lego. So you can see there's a giant foot and a bunch of Lego pieces. It does kind of look like the cover of an I Spy book, which a lot of people thought it was an I Spy game. Never mind the giant foot in the middle. But anyways, the whole point of this is the Lego pieces are teaching the other Lego pieces where to attack. And so that's why there's like a X on the side of the foot, on the bottom of the foot. Most people got it. Most people thought it was pretty funny. Now, new for 2024, we have these orca whales, which are just beautiful. I ordered these directly from Lego. I think they only come in one set right now, a City Arctic set, but it's like $100-something, and I didn't want to buy 4 of them, so I just bought these directly from Lego. I think they were like 10 or 12 bucks a piece. But you have to buy the jaws separately, which is kind of interesting. Anyways, did a little Orca Show here with the different stands and the guests in the stands. We have the trainer, of course, in the water swimming with the whale that's above water. So you have to use your imagination a little bit. And just put them in 4 different scenes here. So you can see in the back left, the one is jumping in the air, making a splash as it lands in the water. The one in the front here is just smiling for the audience. This guy over here is jumping in the air, touching his nose to the ball. And then this one here obviously is making the splash zone come to life. And so you can see the studs there imitating water landing out on the stands. Now next here, this was probably the biggest hit of the show from my table anyways. It's the Symphony Orchestra. Now, I'm a cellist, and I love orchestras, so I wanted to do the full theater. You know, you got the different rows here with the lights on the end of each row, the red tiling outlining the aisles. Then, of course, on the stage, we have the full string section, brass, percussion, woodwinds. I love these violins. These came on the BAM wall, I believe, the Build-A minifigure, and so I used those for the first, second violins, as well as the violas. I love how this looks, and I had a lot of fun putting this together. Now, as a cellist, it pains me that they don't make Lego cellos, so I had to use guitars, and I think it was okay. I think it came out okay. I'm pretty bald, so I'm the bald one. And they have a double bass now, which came with the Jazz Club modular. So I went on what is it called? Pick a Brick online and bought a couple of those to make a bass section. Yeah, I just like how that looks. And so for the brass and percussion and woodwinds, had to get a little creative with some brick-built instruments because they don't, I think they make a trumpet, but I don't think they make any of the other instruments. So I have some chimes over here where I created the mallets. I have a cymbal player, which is just shields, snare drum, use some different techniques to make it what it is. For the woodwinds, we have a piccolo and 2 flutes in the middle and then an oboe on the right. We have 3 clarinets in the middle row with a brick-built bassoon off to the right. And then in the back row, we have 2 French horns, 2 trumpets, a tuba, and a trombone, which was a pretty interesting technique, as well as the 4 timpani off to the right and a piano player. And of course, the hall frame is just some hinged pieces with plates and tiles to make the curved performance backdrop. So that's my Symphony Orchestra. Next up, we have my animal exhibit displays. First, here we have the penguins, which you can see there's a trainer in the middle feeding them fish. And we have some nice snow detail. Next to that, we have polar bears. Again, we have a couple barrels in here with fish and some water for them to go swimming should they choose. You'll see we have the mother as well as 2 babies. Next is the koala exhibit. Now, I love these koalas. I just wish they came in different orientations because you can see they all have their arms facing the left. But I put a couple little details in there to try and vary it up. Here we have the cows and the calves with the cow wash and some hay. I forgot the horns here, so forgive me, they don't have those in. Next is the giraffe exhibit. Now, I typically try to stay away from friends animals because you can see like the pandas too, they're very cute. But they don't make a like Lego City version of the giraffes, so had to work with what we had available. Next up, we have the ladybugs and bees. I love the beehives in the back and the varying ones flying throughout the exhibit, as well as some bats here. You can see them hanging off the roof in the bat enclosure. Next up, we have our seals. We have some in the water chasing their balls. We have a couple on the beach on top, just catching some sun. Next, we have our snakes and scorpions and spiders, little enclosures. I don't know what you call these exhibits. So just some fun little details in each of these little casings. Next up, we have the otters and some nice water work. We've got a waterfall in the back, and I tried to emulate some of those weeping willow trees. I love the different tree designs. I like how that came out. Above that, we have our alligators, and so you see there's some baby ones in the front, as well as the big one in the middle with a chicken wing in its mouth, and one in the back corner. I love these old palm trees. Love those tree trunks. Tried to do different details in each one and different styles of like enclosures. So here we have the petting zoo with some alpacas, some lambs, and baby animals like baby piglets and sheep and goats. New goats. I don't have any old goats. I think the flamingos are pretty fun, so I wanted to get a couple of those. Not too much detail on that one. We'll improve that exhibit. Again, here we have some very cute friends pandas and some bamboo. Here we have our lion enclosure. So we have different types of lions, courtesy of the city wildlife packs, as well as a Lion King tribute with Rafiki holding Simba at the tip of the rock. Here we have 3 ostriches. These came from one set, the Prince of Persia, can't remember the name of it, and they haven't made them since. So Lego, please make more. We have different monkeys in the monkey enclosure. You see the tire swing, we got the net, the slide. We had a couple casualties in the back, and my hands are too fat to get in there and fix it. Here we have some turtles. Tried to make another little aquarium scene. I just love how the blue pops. Here we have a brown bear and a black bear, again with that tree technique. We have some salmon jumping out of the water that they're trying to catch. Next we have the elephants, and some detail in here. You'll see the 2 adult elephants, and one is spraying one of the babies with some water out of its trunk. Moving down the line, we have our camels. We have a nice desert scene here for them. Followed by the aquarium. I loved building this one. See, there's different aquarium animals in here. We have some turtles along the bottom, as well as a school of fish, and different types of coral made out of different pieces at different heights. I really loved putting this one together. This was a ton of fun. You can see from a top-down view too, it's pretty simple in its building technique, but from the side view, it all pops. Here we have our big cat enclosure. We have some tigers and mountain lions and panthers and cheetahs and leopards. You see the ones over here on the left are trying to get Hedwig up on the top of the mountain. Then the last animal exhibit is the aviary, which also was very fun to put together. Different birds and butterflies and flying animals. So that is my animal exhibits. That was probably my most fun build. I love doing this one more than all of the other ones. I love the Lego animals. So that's it for our Brickworld Indy 2024 displays. Please like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. See you next time.